Hello, this is Fear Dragon, and welcome to Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft 2 players. Here on this show, we spend 1 week highlighting an up-and-coming North American player. Throughout the week, we find out more about the player's history, their personality, and their playstyle over the course of 6 short episodes. On Monday, we'll interview the player and find out more about them. Tuesday through Thursday, we'll watch a game from each of the various matchups casted by your very own Fear Dragon. On Friday, we'll check out a generally awesome game with some sick play, and on Saturday, we'll kick it back with the player and have some wacky fun with some randomly selected events like handicap ladder matches, karaoke, and dance contests. Each episode aims to be about 20 to 30 minutes long, so you can learn more about the North American StarCraft 2 scene without interrupting your busy WCS schedule. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another episode of Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft 2 players, and today we have our Protoss vs. Terran of the week from ROOTSeeds' Bones, an awesome player, and actually the captain of ROOTSeed right now, and joined with me today to co-cast this fantastic game, it is going to be Brandon, aka Muratan, and that is exactly how you pronounce it, it's Muratan. How you doing today, man?
Well, you know, first, that's obviously not how you pronounce it, as I told you yesterday, but I'm okay with it. You get off. I'm doing well today. I'm actually really excited to do some PvT. We put us for Zerg yesterday. It was good times, but, you know, PvT, that's my jam. This is my matchup.
It's my favorite matchup of all time, man. Like, hands down, best matchup in the game.
I think this is just mostly my favorite to play. I think watching Terran vs. Zerg is maybe just better. It's maybe just the best.
That's fair. But, you know, hey, let's go ahead and jump in and introduce the players as we spawn up here in the top left-hand corner. On top of the green Protoss player, he's going to be the highlight player of the week. He is going to be representing Team ROOTSeed Academy, and as actually the captain of it, it is ROOTSeeds' Bones.
Bones indeed, and his opponent, down in the bottom right corner of this huge map, we have the pink Terran Intense. Also from ROOTSeed, apparently.
Yeah, teammates.
That's sweet. Team kill? Is this like a practice match, or do you know?
I believe that this is just kind of like a friendly practice match, and you can kind of tell, like, this is not a ladder game. They have the colors green and pink on. So, hey, it's a little bit of insight into how these kind of players like to practice, and maybe just a little fun game. Maybe there's a little bit of pride on the line, but I'm curious to see how this shapes up. And Brandon, Whirlwind, PvT, cross-spawn map positions, what do you think?
Well, we're gonna be here for a while, probably. just saying, these generally tend to go quite a long time, but that's okay. Long PvTs are really fun to watch and, you know, play, in my opinion. I do love my longer games, especially on this map. It's just like so many bases. I feel like the Protoss is at a bit of an advantage when you get super late, just because it's easier for them to defend all their bases. Once you're at like 6 bases, you leave a couple Templar and a Pylon at each base, and it's more or less protected a little bit. Like, you can delay the army with storms, warp in some zealots, and then your main army gets there, and hopefully you can clean it up. But you know, it's not too big of a difference.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, Intense is definitely taking that to heart right now, man. He's gone for that CC first opening, and he's going to actually have to pull off one of those SCVs from building that CC, but it will complete. And in the meanwhile, Bones hasn't gone for a Nexus first. He's gone for that one Gateway expansion, so I feel like he wants to probably put on a little bit of pressure to come back from this.
Yeah, he also just doesn't want to get his Nexus delayed by really early SCV or anything. I've seen a Terran do that before, and it's like the most obnoxious thing ever. Getting your like Nexus first blocked by an SCV just makes you want to die. Like, no, I'm actually just out of this game already. I'm so far behind. So, you know, that's pretty rare though. I don't think that's what he's playing around, but you know, some early pressure is pretty sweet. Or if like the Terran goes crazy and proxies you. Which I don't see that happening on this map, but it's probably happened before.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility, but, you know, again, as you said, it's not going to be the case on this map, but I like the Bones kind of checking around with that Mothership core, just looking for any kind of big vulnerabilities that could be around, and this goes up again back to that idea that Bones is one of those very safe players. He likes to play out a standard style, he doesn't take too many risks, and, you know, he has faith that he'll win it in the late game, man.
Yeah, which is awesome. Like, can totally respect that. That's like I said, how I like to play, and that's why Rain is like my favorite player right now. He's just so good at it. We do see Bones is going for Dat Robotics Facility, so you know we've been talking about it, just straight up standard solid play. Awesome.
Yeah, and Colossus are definitely a great way to open up. If you open up with high Templars and that kind of Templar tech, you sort of force yourself to be a little bit overly defensive because you can be defensive with high Templars in Storm. It's kind of hard to be super aggressive with high Templars in Storm early on, just because it's like, well, you're going to be up against bunkers, and of course, you don't really have as much of an opportunity to decide when you're really going to go in and attack. You kind of have to say, like, well, once I've laid down my Storm, like, you kind of, like, you've already shot all your bullets out. Like, you don't really have that much left in you after that.
Yeah, I feel like it is more defensive than aggressive, but you know what else it is? Way more fun.
That is
Obviously,
true.
I'd rather throw down Storms than Colossi. Like, Word for the longest time would not go open Templar, and I just, like, made him do it. He's like, yeah, this is way better. I'm doing this all the time now, and you know what?
It is a lot of fun.
It's way more fun, yeah. That's just how I like to play. I do see Bones, like, wow. So defensive, and I love it. Symmetry. This is sweet. It's got a Zalt in the middle, a Sentry right on the other side of it, and then a Stalker on the other side of the Zealot, or the Sentry for the Zealot. Sweet. This looks good. I
feel like Bones played Age of Empires, and he was like, you know what StarCraft 2 is missing? It's missing that automatic formation button. You can, you know, there was like 5 different formations you could like create with all your units. There was like one where it would automatically like pick the high importance units, like for example in StarCraft it would be sentries or like high Templars, and it would put them in the center of a giant square around all like your soldiers and stuff. I think Bones is the kind of player that's like, I'm just gonna do that myself. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. Man, that is taking me back right now. Sweetest reference ever. We do see a hallucinated Phoenix is gonna be scouting into Intense's main, and oh, excuse me. I really love this play. The hallucination is just so sweet now that it's free. You know, before I would even get it a lot of the time, just because scouting like this versus Terran, when there's really no option to scout quite this early without just making observers, which are slow as hell, you know, it's just sweet to have it. and getting it for free is just something you should always use. And he gets like a full scout off, so really awesome. Knows exactly what's going on. He's in a great spot.
Yeah, and we actually do see a bit of a move out from Intense right now. This is something that a lot of Terran players have actually been doing, which I always found sort of interesting, because you know it shouldn't do too much damage, and Protoss players should actually be prepared for it as long as they have that Mothership Core. But still, you end up seeing Terran players kind of punishing Protoss players who are a little bit too overeager with their expansions, or they're a little bit too overeager with how fast they're teching, and they end up losing probes, they end up losing sentries, Mothership Core, etc. But actually, Intense, just going to be chilling, seeing, hey, there's no third expansion. I'm just going to seize control of the center of the map.
Yeah, he knows there's really no chance of getting damage done. Oh, okay, maybe he's going to go for it. He should know there's really no chance of getting much damage done at this point. Like, 2 base Protoss is just not going to die to this. It's not a crazy amount of Marines. He'd just be throwing them away. So, you know, just poking out, looking around a bit, keeping the Watchtower, and looking at where the third expansions would be is just awesome. Now he's going to stim a Marine over to the front and scan. Seems a little redundant, but okay, he pulls the Marine back. You know, I think after seeing this, he's like, yeah, obviously. Oh my god, he's going for it?
And
are you crazy?
Yeah, those are some really nice force fields, and actually with the Colossus popping out, I am really, really afraid for Intense trying to overcommit too heavily over here, although the first 2 medevacs are coming out.
Yeah, and some Marauders as well, but yeah, he just has to stim and run at this point. No, he's gonna stay and fight. Forces is going down, being okay for the Protoss here. Wow, he has to pull back. I think a Planetary Nexus should pretty much stop this, though. Or not. What? You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
Oh my god, he was gunning for the Colossus. He did not actually end up getting it, and that was actually very, very costly. You have to really hand it to Bones, though, because he controlled that out really, really well. First the force fields, then the time warp and the photon overcharge, and just knowing that he had to keep running back those Colossus, man. He lost his sentries, but he kept alive the Colossus, and that's what's important.
Yeah, he kept alive the really expensive units, which is awesome. And, you know, in the meantime, this hasn't been awful for Intense. He's gotten his third situated. He's got SCVs fighting here. He's maybe lost a couple more bio units that he'd like to, and this Protoss army has a chance at just overwhelming the Terran in the proper position. But, oh, wow. Just gonna load up into these medevacs and try to drop. This is pretty cool. Nice little aggressive move.
Yeah, I love how many observers right now Bones actually has. He's actually up to 4 observers, and they're all positioned in preparation for this kind of thing. And he's going to go ahead and get those stalkers in place, but right now he actually doesn't have that many stalkers, and I don't think he actually has enough energy for another photon overcharge, so this could still be very dangerous.
Yeah, but with 2 classes, I hear more stalkers being warped in. It's just no chance of getting too much done here for Intense. If he had tried to go in there, maybe he puts like an empty medevac in front and lets it tank, but I don't know, even then, just dropping onto this kind of army is a little risky, especially with the 3rd Colossus out now.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely true. And, you know, I like what Intense is doing instead. He's kind of sending 2 Marines and 2 Marauders, definitely buddies to the end. Going to try and do a little bit of harassment over this 3rd expansion. A Colossus going to join the fray alongside some Zealots being warped in, but at the same time, moving into the natural expansion, it looks like.
Yeah, Intense thought about going in there, but instead just scanning for observers. Pretty nice choice there. Can't really deal with this army, not with the 3 Colossi. Solid amount of stalkers, and, you know, Bones is a little bit behind here. You know, 116 supply to 160 is not a good spot, but at the same time, his 3rd is finishing. He's got Blink about to finish. Really solid upgrades. He's about to have 2-2. And,
oh my god.
You know, 3 Colossi out, this Bioforce is just gonna melt so quickly. So I feel like he's in an okay spot as long as he can get into the late game.
Oh, definitely. And again, Bones, as you were saying, like those upgrades, 2-2 versus 1-1 in just a couple seconds. Yeah, it finishes up, and now he has 2-2. And he's going to have the better army right now against his opponent. So question is, does he start to get aggressive with it, or does he just continue to sit back? I mean, I feel like he should do something with this, because right now he's behind economically.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I said before, Protoss just feels a little favored in the late game on this map. So maybe just being very passive and keeping his Colossi alive and just trying to pick off at least Vikings with the Stalkers like he's doing is probably the better choice. However, this Bioforce is just going to run into his natural. Or not.
Ooh, this is a really weird angle actually right now, as there's 2 Colossus over the natural expansion. One of them gets picked off, but the rest of them actually end up doing devastating amounts of damage to Intense, and I think that Intense did not actually want to take that fight, and he's going to have to back out, but at what cost?
Yeah, at what cost indeed. That was not a good engagement there for Intense. He lost every single one of his Vikings, which, you know, are not cheap. Mineral heavy, but the Terran is kind of more of a mineral heavy army, so losing those is much worse than losing medevacs in some cases, especially when you have 6 out. Like, that's really all you need for medevacs, but Vikings are very important. You need a huge number. Much easier to reproduce your medevacs, and now he's going to try to get a drop done here. Don't know if it's going to do too much. Maybe he could have denied the 4th of that, but really going to the natural is not going to do a huge amount.
Well, I don't know about that right now. I mean, there are a lot of pros over here, and he actually does some decent damage. There's a Colossus that he could actually pick off, but no, he's going to have to back out. There's a lot of Zealots, and hey man, those Zealots are going to have charge soon. That's going to be a very scary moment.
Yeah, I do like the choice for going for Blink first, though. It's just really awesome defensively. Charges maybe a little more aggressive, but, you know, blinking your Stalkers onto medevacs as they're running away is sweet, which you should do right now! Do it! Wow, that one medevac died. That was a sweet last shot by that Stalker.
He is a sharpshooter, man. I mean, he should actually be a ghost if he was a part. He was probably like a ghost reborn from the Terran army, reincarnated as a Protoss.
They took his psionic force and just like threw it to Stalker. They're like, alright, you're a ghost now. You're a Protoss now. He's like, yes, I fight for the Protoss.
Give me a Sib Rib.
Yeah, there you go. Would you see Bones right now is switching into my favorite tech in the game, which is Storm. Awful sweetness right there. Gonna be producing a lot of Templar hopefully soon, and you know, just having the bestest army a Protoss could ever really hope for.
Yeah, but in response, I mean, Intense is actually also getting the Sib Rib, and he's building some ghosts of his own, and with a decent Viking count and actually some of those ghosts, he could actually get a really nice engagement. Again, Protoss versus Terran, one of the most control-intensive matchups, and actually, speaking of control-intensive, there's 2 Marauders microing against the Zealot, both very low on health right now.
I don't know where that is, but I'd love to watch it.
That was at the 4th. Yeah, the Marauders actually end up cleaning up the charge Zealot.
Oh no! Oh, you can't let your Colossi just die like that. You can't do that. Nice storm going down on these Vikings. Oh my god, so much damage.
Wow, and actually a really subtle move over there from Bones. He actually hallucinated Colossus in the middle of all of that just to try and soak up some of those damage shots from the Vikings. And actually, I think that he managed to save one of his Colossus because of it. And now we end up seeing the Viking count is down to just about 6 Vikings. And honestly, you'd want more than 6 Vikings against 4 Colossus.
Yeah, you really do. You want about twice as many Vikings as our Colossi to kill them real nice and quick. And that's just not not the case here. You need a lot more than 6 versus this many. Warp gate is now finishing up and being warped in, but no, okay, that was scary. I almost died from fright. that Terran Bio army just like was ready to walk all over this protospace.
You know, it was, but at the same time, he would have actually probably lost a lot of his army because he was going to be in a sort of a committed position. And you can see all of his units are very, very stimmed up right now. A lot of them sitting at the yellow, the orange health, and he has to be a little bit careful, man. But big medevac drop. It could actually be ending going into the main, but there's already preparation from Bones right now.
Yeah, he's got 4 Zealots and a Templar just sitting in the main. And I love this move so much. I wish he was using cannons, because look how many minerals he has. Like, he just doesn't really need to have Zealots here. He should have non-supply army defending it, but that's fine. I thought this was an actual army coming into the third. Oh, wow, it's actually just distracted for the drop that's going right down behind the mineral line. This is a sweet move.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage over here. At the same time, he tried to move in over to the 4th expansion, but the army was already there and ready to defend against it. Storm's going down on the mineral line, but he's actually killing a lot of his own probes at this point. The medevacs are just doing an absurd amount of damage.
The medevac's not really doing the damage.
Yeah.
Those guys alive so long. I know you meant. But you see, actually, these units that were stationed in the main base are gone, so I guess they went down to help with the third, which kind of sucks, because these 4 Zealots and a Templar would probably just push this back. Most of this army is Marauders, so not too much damage versus light units. Seems like Intense here has actually just pulled back his main army a bit, and Bones is kind of just like walking all his dudes around at his 4th while his main is being attacked. This is a little weird.
I think he's actually concerned right now about a big counterattack over his 4th expansion, and I have to say Intense is doing a fantastic job with a lot of his drop aggression, but in the end of it, when we start to look at, oh god, it's not even over yet as he moves back into the 4th expansion. God, Intense is just relentless with this, but I still have to say though, that Bones has still retained a decent number of probes. I mean, he's still at 54 probes. He still has all of his bases mining, and he's retained his tech as well.
Yeah, and this one, Templar's 3 kills and just did all the work to stop that drop.
Oh, God.
Very well done there. Yeah, nothing main army here for Bones has been pulled away from his 4th. He's still got so many Zealots. What the Zealot count is it? 26? Wow.
Wow.
That is many Zealots. Also, 3 Stargates going down right now, so he's going to be switching into some Sky Toss. Do you think he's going to go for carriers? Because I really hope he does.
He's going to be going for Tempest. So in the interview, we were talking with Bones, and he was saying, again, like, he is a defensive player. He plays for the late game. And he really enjoys his Tempest. He thinks that Tempests actually are an absolutely fantastic tool. You can use them to just harass and deal damage to your opponent without having to go and force yourself into a direct engagement. Honestly, you think about it, what are oftentimes leading the charge for the Terran player army? It's Ghosts. Ghosts are looking for the EMPs, and Tempests are perfect to deal with that because they can just snipe off the Ghosts from a long range.
Yeah, it's awesome. Those are really good versus Vikings. With way long range than Vikings, it just makes it so much harder for the Terran to get those sweet engagements where, you know, just the Vikings chase the Colossi, kill them all off, and then the Bio comes in and sweeps up everything else. It doesn't really happen when Tempests are out, which is pretty awesome. That strike force of units just got absolutely decimated. That was brutal.
They did not sign up for that, man, but oh god, I don't think that Intense wants to go up that ramp and through that choke against that many Colossus and Storm and Stalkers and Archons.
Yeah, he's even like just building cannons out in the middle to be even more defensive. This is pretty sweet. Oh my god, a nuke! I question its placement, but it's still awesome to see. So,
dude, Intense has a vendetta against Dustin Browder, man. He's going after those destructible rocks. Dude, destructible rocks take damage from nukes. I did not know that.
Wow. They totally do. Just took 500 damage. Oh, that's sweet. Destructible rocks. I got it, man. You just drop 4 nukes at the same time on them. You kill those rocks so fast.
Oh man. Well,
it's
nice
like only 800.
I know, right? And nice little. Oh god, nice little Zealot harassment was going on at the bottom, but oh look at this. These Ghosts are actually so vulnerable right now, and look at all these scans that have been going down. I think that Intense is actually trying to snipe off those observers, but I mean, Bones has so many, and here we end up seeing the big engagement.
Gross. The Ghosts are cloaked, but they're on top of the other bio units. Their Colossi just killed them with the AoE damage anyway. Same with the Archons, and these storms have been so good. And now a Dark Templar is actually just going to town on this entire army, doing so much damage. It did get EP'd, but it looks like it lived through it, as it doesn't have shields, but it's still killing stuff.
Wow, and you know, for a second, it looked like it was really in favor of Bones. And then it looked like it was really in favor of Intense, because I mean, his ghosts were still alive, he had picked off all the Colossus, there weren't any High Templars left, and then somehow Bones just came in and turned it around, I think, as you were saying, with some of those Dark Templars.
Yeah, the DTs did a great job, and also just the stalker control, you know, obviously not plunking back into individual stalkers, but always doing something good with them. They're never just sitting there attacking Marines, which is just awesome. Always killing Vikings or ghosts or something important. It's just what you want your stalkers to be doing, because they're really mobile, but they're low damage, so you need to be focusing them. He just did a great job of that.
Yeah, and with that being said, man, I mean, you can count on Bones for one thing, and that's good late-game army control, and he's gonna need it because he's mixing in a new unit into the mix, and it's gonna be Tempest, and man, you have to control those right to actually be effective with them.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do not want your Tempest just chasing something and dying, because they are not good by themselves. If you just have an army of Tempest, they're like the worst unit in the game. I'd rather have drones.
Oh my god. There are 2 Stalkers at the 4th expansion. Just making work. There's a planetary fortress back there. The Marauders are stimming in like so late right now. Oh, that's so painful.
No fear.
Oh my god.
He's still
attacking!
Marauders are just like, alright, later, we dealt the problem, they disappeared. That means they're dead, right? No, dude, it does not mean they're dead. It's just killing so many. Now stimming again?
Oh my god.
Wow. Finally gonna kill it off. This is still so worth it.
Seriously, man. Those Marauders got in the call. We have a Stalker harassing our expansion. They're like, okay, we dealt with the Stalker. It's like, what about the other Stalkers? Like, you said there was one.
You said there was one, and it disappeared. So it's over now, right? that's how it works. No, that's not how it works. And man, Intense. He's got all these orbitals, but he's just scanning with them. So it's like, wow, why does he have more money? Well, you know, he's like spent close to 20 scans so far, at least.
This nuke is actually going to go down on top of these Archons. Archons could end up losing their lives. Oh my god.
What? They have enough shields to live through a nuke?
Apparently, but hold that thought. We have a big engagement going down, and looks like after some storms, I mean, it's going to have to back up.
Those poor Hellions just died. That's brutal.
They can't stim out of the storm.
No. Like, everyone's stim and get out, but I can't.
But you're biological. You got healed by medevacs.
Wouldn't it be sweet if Hellions had stim?
No. No. We're not doing this.
It'd be cool. Admit it.
Oh, hold that thought. Big attack force actually moving into the 3rd expansion right now. Bones not entirely prepared for it. He has a Dark Templar. He actually has a High Templar as well over here. He could actually try and lay down a storm. At the same time, 3 nukes going down at the 5th expansion.
What are these even gonna hit? Like some, I guess he's gonna hit some probes with them as well.
I think they'll hit the Nexus.
Is it now?
Oh my god.
That is similar.
The Assimilator survives.
Totally not usable anymore. It's like Chernobyl at this point. Like, just do not go. We do see the engagement going down the Colossus, just tearing through these bioforces, and the Tempest just sitting in the back doing so much damage. Wow.
Oh my god. I don't think you can even get out of here with these medevacs, man. As soon as these medevacs try and load up, those Tempests are just going to snipe them off, and Stalker's blinking on top. The medevacs I have loaded up, and right now those Tempests are giving chase right now, but they find a new target. They find all of the command centers and the orbital commands, but at the same time, Terran Army trying to do more damage over that 3rd expansion.
Yeah, he does need to get some, you know, Templar or something moved over here. He must have assembled full energy to storm these units. Got to at least worth in some zealots to try to defend this. Maybe turn on the planetary nexus with his Mothership Core. No, his Mothership Core is with his main army. Maybe recalls and just tries to crush this Bioforce. That might be a good idea.
And actually, surprisingly enough, Bones just going to be retreating all the way home with that army, and I would love to see him maybe warp in some Dark Templar or something, as it looks like he does have some of the money for it, but this expansion is actually going to get focus fire down. That's going to, I mean, he has a lot of expansion still left over, but it still hurts to lose that gas income.
Yeah, it really does. Always, losing a base is always tough. I think he actually loaded Vikings into this. No, he didn't load any Vikings into the medevacs. That would have been hilarious. Oh god, but another task force moving into this expansion. He managed to snipe up yet another expansion. Intense, pulling this game back for him. Yeah, this is slightly gross how many expansions he's killing with just, you know, packs of Marauders. This looks like Select when, like, super early StarCraft 2, and he just, like, send Marauders everywhere and snipe expansions and be like, ha ha ha, my multitasking is so good. And nobody knew how to deal with it, but,
yeah.
you know, it's always fun to see this style. doesn't work as well anymore. But it's doing pretty well on this map. It is very large.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, at this point, I mean, Bones really only mining off of one base, and that's that fourth expansion that he has up here in the top middle side. And he's trying to reestablish those other bases, but for a little while, he's going to have to be careful because he's also down in supply. He's also out of money, whereas Intense has a big gas bank, still actually mining off of at least one of these bases with a lot of mules. And 3 stalkers harassing, man.
3 stalkers harassing. These stalkers have actually just done so much damage.
Oh my god.
Like throughout the game, so many worker kills. Obviously those are not as good as the first 2. Still pretty solid. We do see a couple units coming in here at the third of Bones, but mostly just getting crushed. The Storm goes down on top of them, and you know, the Tempest shoot giant balls of death energy at them, which is not a fun day. I'll tell you right now, it does not feel good.
It's not a good way to go, man. I mean, I actually don't know if it's painless or not, but it sounds pretty painful to me.
I imagine it's not very good. Oh, some more stalkers trying to get behind the mineral lines here, and they are in position.
I love this harassment.
Yeah, no, 2 stalkers is not a huge investment, and with Blank, they're just so good at this. Like, they just go to a corner and you know, hold position and never die. They just kill a billion enemies.
And when you have Tempest in your army, you don't even really want stalkers in your army. You want those Tempests to be shooting down the Vikings. And oh, we're gonna be seeing another nuke come down, and I like this positioning because it's gonna hit the Nexus, it's gonna take out the cannons. At the same time, he's moving across the map on the left-hand side. Is Bones gonna be able to deal with this appropriately? It doesn't look like Bones is entirely falling for the bait.
Oh man, he lost so many probes there. Went from 17 mining to 9. Also, the simulator does die, and a third nuke going down. Really wants to just kill off this Nexus with nukes? That's something I have not done since Brood War, like, campaign.
Oh my god, those Tempests are definitely paying for themselves right now. He almost got caught off guard by a counterattack from Intense, but Intense just barely coming into vision. Those Tempests laying waste to that, but at the same time, these Marines and this Ghost gonna be able to take out this other expansion.
1 DT being warped in, but a scan does go down and taken out immediately. That would have been hilarious if 1 DT just killed that entire army. What do you see? That Bones here looks like he wants to just force an engagement and try to get some advantage here. And he's doing a great job. The Tempest doing so much damage. Start for units, all of them going down, and Archon's just doing so much. I think he's actually just going to kill every unit here.
Oh my god, there's also a beautiful Zealot flank that came in from one of those proxy pylons nearby. He's going to be warping in High Templar. He's going to try and go for the feedbacks, or actually no, it looks like he's just going to be morphing in some more Archons and getting ready to be aggressive, man. And he has to. He just lost that expansion.
Yeah. He has definitely lost too many expansions, but look at the supply, 177 to 133, and the worker count 44 to 34, so really not much of that advantage is in workers. He's got just a giant army, and, you know, Protoss army with full upgrades, Zealots, Stalkers, Archons, Tempests, and Colossi with some Storm backup. That is actually just insane. It's such a good army. I don't know if Intense can really hold this attack.
Yeah, and
with such a flank.
Oh my god, and a lot of big storms going down on that flank, so it was a really, really good attempt from Intense, but he ends up getting cleaned up, and GG gets called. Yeah. Bones taking that game in a really fantastic fashion.
Yeah, no kidding. We do also see there were a bunch of Marines trying to do some damage up in the top right corner, but really just not enough. You cannot race this army. Like, he's going to kill all your stuff way before you kill all of his, and he's probably just going to warp in themselves to kill it off. So Intense, you know, just bowing out when you knew it was over. A really well fought game there by Bones. Like, I gotta say, losing that many bases is usually something that just cripples a Protoss and they don't win from that position, but he did a great job.
Yeah, I have to say, like, the big key things I want to highlight about Bones' play and would just be, you know, he first of all got those upgrades going super early, and they worked out well for him, man. It definitely paid off in those engagements to have those upgrades, but his unit control in those late game engagements was also phenomenal. I mean, I can't think of a single engagement that I was really saying, like, I think that he, like, you know, kind of messed this part up, or like, really, he just kind of nailed all the engagements.
Yeah, he did really well. I do think he could work on his building positioning, like especially over here at this 4th base where he just got it nuked over and over and over again.
Yeah.
If you put like 2 cannons at the top of this ramp, that can't happen. He has to scan every single time he wants to nuke. Like, that's just not really all that worth it anymore. And you're also just sitting there nuking cannons that you can go up and nuke the Nexus. Really just not a good position. So, you know, that's just a little thing that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
It's honestly something that most people wouldn't do.
Yeah, for sure. And, With that being said, I also do want to really quickly highlight that Intense is an absolutely fantastic Terran player and, a teammate to ROOTBones, so definitely go check him out as well, because, if you like a aggressive drop play in the late game, this guy's your man. And Nukes!
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Nukes, not something we see used very often.
Oh my god.
What is it?
I'm seeing something I almost never see from Intense. It's go over to the third expansion, between the two Ghost Academies where the mineral line is. There's an upgraded bunker that has upgraded capacity.
Yeah, I saw that like earlier. I was like, well,
that is amazing.
I thought it was a different skin for a while.
Right.
I just forgot that you could do that.
I know.
I was like, wow, they have bunker skins?
It is unheard of, man. But hey, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please go ahead and check out Rootseeds' Bones. He's the captain of Team Rootseed. It's the Rootseed Academy that recently launched. And, yeah, he's an absolutely fantastic Protoss player. You guys got to see how great his late game play is. And we're going to be seeing more of his play in tomorrow's PvP. And that's going to be at 9 p.m. Pacific and midnight Eastern time zone over on twitch.tv/FearDragon64. The VODs will be up over at youtube.com/FearDragon64. And if you want to check out Rootseeds' Bones, you can go ahead and click on any of the links over in the Twitch chat or just below the video if you're on YouTube. But with that being said, Brandon, where can people catch you at?
At the moment, mostly just on Twitter, at Muatarn, MUATARN, or you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Muatarn. I haven't been streaming as much lately, but I hope to be getting back into that soon. Pretty much the same spiel as yesterday. all the good stuff, Magic and StarCraft. Also, maybe some Hearthstone. We'll see. That's everything for me.
All right, sounds good. It has been wonderful to have you on, Brandon. And with that being said, hope you all decide to tune in tomorrow and have a wonderful night. Stay beautiful.
Stay beautiful.